everybody, and welcome back to Mad Horse Barbecue. My name is Brian, and on today's video, we're going to be smoking a brisket on the Pitts Spitts Maverick 1250. That's right, we're going to keep the trend going on the Pitts Spitts Maverick 1250 for at least this cook, maybe the next cook, and then I'll jump off on and start using one of my other 17 or 18, I don't know, you kind of lose count when you have more than 10 grills, but I think I have 18 right now. But anyways, I got the brisket all trimmed up. This is just the regular old brisket I bought from Walmart, probably back in December. I bought it with the intention of putting it in my deep freezer. I got a chest freezer downstairs, and that's what I did. Pulled it out of the freezer on Tuesday. Today's Friday. Got it all trimmed up. It was 14.5 pounds. I'd probably say I trimmed off about 4.5 to 5 pounds. So I'd probably put this brisket at the 10 to 10.5 pound range. But it's trimmed up, ready to go. We're going to rub it down actually tonight with 3 different rubs. All from SuckleBusters. The first one we're going to go on with is the SuckleBusters Prime Brisket Rub. The second rub we're going to go on with is the SuckleBusters SPG. And then the third we're going to go on with is the Tailgaters BBQ Party Rub. Sold by SuckleBusters, but actually made by a gentleman named Dan Woods, who, you know, it's kind of cool. The name of the rub is actually after the name of his food truck. So let me bring you in, and I'll show you how I get this thing rubbed down. So here's the rubs. Gonna use some W sauce for a binder. This is just regular old Hy-Vee if you live in the Midwest. Maybe not the Midwest. I know they're in Minnesota. I know they're in Iowa in this area. But Hy-Vee is a very good grocery store. They make a lot of good products. But we're gonna use their W sauce tonight for a binder. Got the SuckleBusters Texas Brisket Rub going on for the first coat. SuckleBusters SPG second coat. And then Tailgater BBQ Party Rub for the third coat. Here is the brisket in my barbecue prep tub right there. Looking, pretty good. I got fat cap down right now. This, trimming brisket is a work in progress for me, and I think it always will be, really. Like I said, this was a 14.5 pound brisket, probably trimmed down to about 10 pounds, and there is the pile of fat on it. Typically what I do is I kind of, put one coat of rub on both sides, then put another coat of rub on both sides, and then another coat. But what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to go ahead and start on the fat cap side, because we are going to be smoking this thing fat cap down, so I'm going to rub down the fat cap side first. Like I said, a coat of W sauce for a binder. First coat we're going to go on with is the SuckleBusters Texas Brisket Rub, so let's go ahead and do that. And you can see I got my barbecue prep tub extended all the way up. It just makes it a lot easier, and it'll contain all the mess in the prep tub. And this brisket is going to sit in here overnight, so it'll let all the rub and everything kind of, soak into the brisket. So let's go ahead and give it a coat. Let's go ahead and give it a coat of the SuckleBusters SPG. Go ahead and give that a pat. And then last but not least, let's go on with a coat of the Tailgaters BBQ Party Rub. Alright, let's go ahead and flip it over and season the other side. First coat, on with a little bit of the W sauce. Hit it with the SuckleBusters Prime Brisket Rub. Hit it with a coat of SuckleBusters SPG. Give that a pat. And then we're going to top it all off with the Tailgaters BBQ Party Rub. That is going to be about good. So I'm going to go ahead, take this downstairs, put it in the fridge overnight, let all the rubs incorporate into the meat overnight, and I will pick back up tomorrow morning at about 6 a.m., well, we'll say 5 to 6 a.m. Central Time. So we will see you guys and girls tomorrow morning. Good morning. We are back. How's everybody doing this lovely morning? I'm doing pretty good. It's about 30 degrees here in Minnesota. Not a whole lot of wind. About 550 in the morning. And I'm about to pull out a lawn chair and a cooler of beer. It's so nice out here. But anyways, got the Pitts Spitts just about up to temp. 250 is the temp we're going to be shooting, or 250 is going to be the temp we're cooking at right away for the first part of this cook. Couple things here. I got the amazing smoke tube in, and the next thing would be trying a new kind of pellet. We got those Bear Mountain Premium pellets. I bought these off of Amazon because I only know of a few places around here that have them, and I haven't seen 100% oak, but these are 100% oak. As you can see by the bag, and I don't know why, but my favorite lumberjack pellets are the 100% oak, so we're going to give the Bear Mountain a try. The one thing I do notice with the Bear Mountain pellets is that they're all, I don't know if you can see that, but they're all they're a little wider than what I'm used to in the lumberjacks. But I like the consistency of the size. They're nice and small pellets. They should burn really good. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the brisket on. You can see I got the side shelf on there. Again, I made that myself. I kind of squish it together. And that is going to be good. I'm going to go ahead, close this thing down, and this is going to be left shut for 3 hours. And after 3 hours, I'm going to pick back up, and I'll start spritzing this thing down. So we will see you in 3 hours. We are back. We are 3 hours into the cook. Pitts and Spitts has been holding steady at 250. This thing always does. You know, it's very minimal temp swings. You know, by minimal I mean 1 to 3 degrees difference, and that's not BSing you. You know, I could shoot a video with temp sensors, you know, left to right, front to back, you know, and I will guarantee you. I mean, you might see some difference going from the bottom shelf to the top shelf. It makes sense. The top shelf should be a little cooler, I think, or maybe a little, I don't know. Either way, there'll be a little bit of a temp difference there. But that main grate, that is just so consistent. It is truly impressive. But like I said, 3 hours into the cook. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is start spraying this down. I got a little spritz bottle right there I made up. It's just like half the bottle has got beef consomme, and then I filled the other half full of water. I've used that for a spritz before for brisket. It works, turns out pretty dang good. But let's go ahead, take you in, give you a quick peek at what the brisket looks like after 3 hours. Go ahead, take a peek at it. Oh yeah, looking pretty dang good. Smoke tubes are going really good. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just take my little spray bottle here. Probably actually, there's 2 functions on this. One's a heavier one. This one I'll probably use. That'll be good. I don't have an internal temp rope in there just because I know it's not going to be where I want it right now. I usually wrap on bark, not temp. But the bark usually is where I want it, temp-wise, right around 165, 170. Let's just go ahead and take a quick peek and see where this thing's at. Right at about 146, center-ish of the brisket. That's good enough for me. I'm going to let this thing go. I'm going to close this thing down, let it go for another hour, and then I'm going to keep spritzing this thing down every 45 minutes to an hour or so until it's about time to wrap. And when it's about time to wrap, I will pick back up, so we'll see you then. We are back. We are 6 hours in. Give you a quick peek at the brisket. Looking pretty dang good. Internal right now on this brisket is at about 173 to 175. That other chunk of meat back there is actually off the point of this brisket. I got a little aggressive carbon it up last night just because it was kind of really fatty there and it was really weird shape. So I kind of thought I made it round. But what I'm going to go ahead and do, it looks like the smoke tube is just about out. So I got about 6 hours runtime. But what I'm going to go ahead and do, what I'm going to do now is pull this off, and I initially was going to wrap this in beef, with in aluminum foil with some beef consomme, but what I'm actually going to do is wrap it up in some butcher paper. So just give me a minute here, and I'll show you how I do that. If that was painful to watch, it was also painful to do, but it's definitely wrapped. Yeah, gonna go back on to Pitts and Spitts. Close her down, and then I'm gonna come back out in like an hour, and I'm gonna stick a probe in here and just monitor temps. But we will pick back up one more time when it is time to slice into this. We will see you around dinner time. We are back, and it is time to eat. Real quick, over to cook times. Total cook time today of 9.5 hours. 6 hours on smoke, 3.5 hours wrapped in that butcher paper. Then I brought it in and let it rest for another 2 hours. But internal temp, it was probe tender. The point was around 206. The flat was around 201. This is what we got. Like I said, brought it in, just put a piece of foil over the butcher paper, put some towels over it, let it rest for about 2 hours. And yeah, here it is. So let's go ahead and slice into it and see how we did. First cut I like to do is just right down the middle. Let's go ahead and take a peek. Oh yeah. That's looking like a pretty good brisket. Let's go ahead and take some slices of the flat. Let's go ahead and take a piece here. See how we did. See, it's somewhat floppy. See how the pulls pretty good. Go ahead and take a taste. That is actually really, really, really good. I honestly can taste a difference from the Bear Mountain pellets compared to the Lumberjack. Whether it was having that smoke tube in there or not, I'm not sure. But really, really, really good flavor. Again, you can see a smoke ring starting to develop on here. You know, little, I think, you know, she's pretty moist, but, you know, it's a little on the drier side. You know, this is what I would expect for my butcher paper ones. But, yeah, I think let's just go ahead real quick and cut into the point end. See what we got there. Pretty good. And again, you know, the point end there, it looks, you know, plenty juicy. Let's go ahead and take a piece of that. That's good. That's, you know, that is definitely edible. So I would have to go ahead and give this butcher paper wrap a success. I'm still a fan of the foil wrap with the beef consomme in it myself, but this will eat just fine. So now, besides that, you know, the combination of rubs, that SuckleBusters Texas Brisket Rub, SPG, and then the Tailgaters BBQ Rub is a really, really, really good flavor on here. Especially if we're not injecting this, it still has got a ton of flavor. So yeah, you know, if you haven't tried the SuckleBusters Rubs yet, I would highly recommend trying them. And again, I am not a paid spokesperson for SuckleBusters. So yeah, that's all I got. You guys and girls, have a good night. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.